Today I'm going to show you how I created this night scene using a Blender real-time engine called EEVEE. So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can support me to do more videos like this in the future. So let's get into it. So you can find the project files in the description below. So when you open it, you will find a file like this. So the file is a bedroom scene. As you can see, it's fully populated. So we're going to light the scene. We're going to create a night feeling using the scene. So first, what we're going to do is go to the top view. First, we're going to adjust the settings of EEVEE. As you can see, nothing is adjusted. So go to render properties right here and activate ambient occlusion and make the distance 2.5 and make the trace precision to 1 and make sure to activate both paint normals and bounce approximation. And let's activate screen space reflections, I mean, so that we'll have a reflection in our scene, and also activate a refraction right here, and then activate motion blur, and then in the shadows bar make the cube size into 1024. You can make it higher, but I think this one is good for now. And I'll make sure that you activate this one, especially the soft shadows, so that we can have a soft shadows in our scenes. And then next, I think this is enough. In the color management, change the view transform to filmic looking golden base and change the look to medium high contrast. I think this is the setting for EEVEE. And then next, if we go to render view, we cannot see anything, as you can see. The reason for that is we did not insert any lights in our scenes. So before that, let's go to the solid view and then press this one, this button right here, the cursor, and place it right here. Or you can use shift right click in your mouse and then go to add and then light and then area light. As you can see, we have an area light, and go to this view, face view, and press R in order to rotate it and insert 90 so that it will rotate 90 degrees, and then press GZ to move it upward, and press S to scale it, and press SX so that it will scale in the X direction, and then again SY so that it will SZ diamond so that it will scale it in the Z direction. Sorry, just make sure that the size of the area lamp is equal to the window. As you can see, this one is good, and press GY so that it will be closer to the window like this. I think this is good. And then let's make I think the light is good. 10 watt will be enough for now. And then let's go to the render view, just see what happens. As you can see, you have a little bit of it, right? So the night scene that we're creating is it's not a black night. We're going to have a little bit of light from our window. We're going to create some twilight kind of feeling in our bedroom scene. It's a good time to render night scenes. And next, we're going to insert lamps, I mean lights in our bed lamps. So let's go to the solid view right here, and let's click right here, this select box, and then click right here and right click and then snap and then cursor to selector. As you can see, our cursor is right here, and then go to add light and then point light. Now we have a point light right here, and let's make the radius 2.1 and let's move it a little bit upward, and let's see the effect that it has. As you can see, we have our point light right here, and let's make the color a little bit red. I think this one is good. We'll adjust it later. And after that, let's give our light a contact shadow so that we'll have contact shadows. Let's make the thickness 0.03. Make sure that this one will not be greater than 0.05. If it's greater than 0.05, it will not give you a realistic result. And then again, select this one. As you can see, the origin of this object is right here. As you can see, the orange dot. So let's In order to place it in the center, click this object and right click, then set origin to geometry. As you can see, the geometry is now in the center. After that, right click again, go to snap, and then cursor to select. Now our cursor is in the middle. And then go to add again, light, and this time we're going to add a spotlight. If we add, let's change this spotlight into point light. As you can see, it's not behaving correctly, so let's just add a spotlight. And let's go to this face view and activate this X-ray mode and go to the solid view so that you can see clearly. And I'm going to rotate it so that it will match the direction of the lamp. Let me make this one a little bit like this, and let's go right here again, go to the render view. As you can see, the light is a little bit sharp, right? So let's go to this object data properties. It's already selected, and let's increase the blend. So whenever we increase the blend, the sharpness will decrease. And let's activate contact shadows and make the thickness to 0.03. Let's go to the top view, go to solid view right here. I'm going to rotate this one right here. I think this direction is correct, right? Or I can use RX in order to rotate it. I don't need to go to any views. I think this one is good. Maybe just let me rotate it a little bit in the X, and I'm going to increase the area that it should touch. And then next, what I'm going to do is, as you can see, it doesn't seem like the light is coming out of this this bed lamp, right? So in order to change that, let's click this one right here and go to material properties, and we're going to make this we're going to give this the inside part of this lamp an emission shader. So in order to do that, there are 5 materials. I think this orange one, as you can see, this one is orange. So click this one, and in the surface, click the principal PSDF and change this one to emission. As you can see, this one is changed to emission. Let's make this to 15. Yes. So as you can see, we have a little bit of change, but in order to make our change a little bit more effective, activate blooms. So when you activate blooms, you can see that it looks like the light is coming out of our bed lamp light. I think this one is better. So the bloom setting will give us this kind of emission effect, as you can see. So next, what we're going to do, we're going to increase the intensity of our lights, and we're going to adjust the colors. I think the color is not what we want it to be, so I'm going to make it a little bit, just a matter of your choice. I think this one is good, I think, for now. And as you can see, I'm going to copy the information from here to here. As you can see, when I click this one and go to the object data properties, and when I click the color, I can see the value of the hue in the saturation. So just copy this one. I'm going to press Control C. I'm going to Control V. I'm going to just copy the information of the colors from one lamp to the other. So I have copied the color information, and again, as you can see, the emission has to be the same color with the light that's been emitted from the spotlight. So in order to do that, click the object right here, and then go to material properties and click this color, the emission color, and change the color. Just paste the color that you have copied from this one. Again, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to copy the saturation again, and then I think first I have to copy the saturation for it in order for it to work. As you can see now, our initial light and our spotlight or point light have the same color. So next, let me increase the intensity to 20 watts. 20 watts. I'm going to also make this one. I think this one is already 25. Now, by default, we have this scene. As you can see, it's already looks like a night scene, right? It already looks like a night scene already. So next, what we're going to do is, as you can see, we have a little bit of environment lighting. This one is not supposed to be white like this. So in order to change that, go to this world properties, and as you can see, we have an environment light with a strength of 1 and with a color of this one, this dark gray. So if I make this to 0, as you can see, we can now see clearly our bedrooms light properly. There are no environment lights emitted in our scene. So make sure that to decrease this one to 0 so that we can have a better lighting. Since EEVEE does not calculate shadows, that is does not emit shadows from light that's emitted from environment lighting. So make sure always to not use any HDRIs or any environment lightings in your scene. So as you can see, we have this one. I'm going to change the color to this. Let me make this one to 30, a little bit more brighter. And now, if I go to top view, as you can see, we have our night scene a little bit. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to place some indirect lighting in our scene. So in order to do that, shift right click right here and go to add, and then light probe, go to irradiance volume. This will help us to create indirect lighting in our scene. Since EEVEE is a real-time render engine, it does not have indirect lighting by default. We have to calculate it ourselves by using light probes. That's what I'm doing now. I have placed irradiance volume in my scene. GZ. So in order to move objects, I'm going to use GZ and scale Z, SZ, so that we can scale things. These are the shortcuts that you should be familiar with. And SZ again, if I activate the extreme modes, I can see clearly. So I'm going to make the resolution of X and Y to 6, both of them 6, so that I can have a better indirect lighting in my scene. And then next, again, go to add, then light probe, and the reflection cube map. So what this will help me do is going to give me a better reflection in my project or in my scene. So just place this reflection cube like this, and again go to add light probe and reflection plane, and then I'm going to scale it, this one, move it right around here. So the purpose of this reflection plane is going to give me a better reflection around flat objects. As you can see, I'm going to place it above this floor so that I will have better reflection on my floor. So in order to see where this reflection plane is placed, go to the render review, and I think this reflection plane is already activated, so click this one right here, and in the viewport display, activate show preview plane. As you can see, we can see now this glass looking material. This is the reflection plane. So I'm going to press GZ. As you can see, when I move it, you can see the change. So I'm going to place a little bit upward from my floor, just a little bit. I think this one is good. After I have placed it, I'm going to deactivate this show preview plane, and then next I'm going to press Alt H in order to unhide everything. H is the shortcut for hiding, so make sure to remember that. I'm going to press Alt H so that I can unhide everything, and I'm going to bake indirect lighting in my scene. So go to render properties in the indirect lighting tab, press. Before that, let's make the cube map size to 1024, the diffuse occlusion to 64, and I'm going to hit bake. Let's see the result that we have, and we can tweak things so that we can have a better results. So as you can see, we have this thing. But as you can see, we have this artifacts right here, this black spot. I think it's clear or it's visible right now. So this is a problem in our scene, so we have to fix that. So I'm going to press H in order to hide the top view. Just select the top view and press H. That's a shortcut for hiding. So the reason for that is if I press this indirect light, the uh, indirect volume, I mean radiance volume, you can see that we have radiance points right here. These are the points that are causing this problem. So whenever these points intersect within an object, or if they are inside an object, this kind of artifacts may occur. So in order to solve that, what we're going to do is just click this one, and then let's decrease the resolution of the X. Let's make it 5. Let's make it just 4 for now. So as you can see, when I make it 4, the points moved from here to here. So whenever you run with artifacts, make sure to tweak this indirect lighting's resolution so that you will move this points from objects. So let's go to the solid view again so that we can bake faster, and then let's hit bake again. So as you can see, the problem that we have faced before is now resolved. So make sure that you tweak this the number of these resolutions so that you will have a better effect or a better result in your scene. In my case, making this the resolution X, the Y6 in the Z4 is giving me a good result. I think I will stay by this. So in order to navigate, as you can see, I'm navigating using my mouse. So in order to do that, go to view and the navigation bar, press walk navigation. So when you do that, you can navigate in the scene easily. And if you press W, you can move forward, S backward, A to the left, and D to the right, E upward, and Q downward. So this is just a basic navigation for a game. So just you can find it in this navigation. So you can just right click right here. Let me remove mine. Go to navigation. If you click right here, you can see assign shortcut, and you're going to press this one, and you can assign any shortcut that you want. In my case, I'm going to press V. So whenever I press V, I'm going to go to active, and I'm gonna automatically go to walk navigation so that I won't go right here every time I want to go to walk navigation. So make sure you assign a shortcut so that you can access it easily. So I'm going to press V and navigate around my scene. I think it's looking good. I'm going to press Alt H in order to unhide everything. I think it looks good, right? So next I'm going to place a background image beside my window. So go to the solid view, and I'm going to go to add, and then in the mesh I'm going to add a plane, and I'm going to press RX, and I'm going to insert 90. Go to this view, and I'm going to scale it, and I'm going to press SX, SZ, so that I will scale it in the Z in the X direction, and I'm going to press G and then Y, I mean GY, so that I will move it in the Y direction. I'm just going to move it a little bit closer to the window, and then if I go to the render view, as you can see, we don't see anything happening right here. The reason for that is we don't have any environment lighting in our scene, so we don't have anything happening around here. So in order to change that, click this one, go to the material properties, press new. In the surface, change this principal base wave to emission base wave. So as you can see now, this surface is not changed to an emission. So this material by itself releases a light. As you can see, the strength of the light is 1. If I increase the strength, it's going to emit more light. And if I change the color of this one, it's going to emit different colors. So, but what I need from this one is I want this to be an image, right? So in order to change that, go to editors type right here and change this to shader editor. As you can see, we have the setup of this material right here. Yeah, as you can see, the color, this one and this one are the same. The strings, you can see the strings right here. So the image that we're going to use is we're going to use this image, an image from textures.com. I have included the description below. You can go and download it from there. I have already downloaded, so I'm going to go to the files and I'm going to shift, and then I'm going to drag it and drop it in my shader editor, and I'm going to connect the color to the color. As you can see, whenever I connect the color to the color, now the color is displayed in my scene, but the image is appears to be inverted, right? Go to the edit view, and before that, let's apply the scale. As you can see, the scale is not correct, so I'm going to press Ctrl A and then scale. If I do that, the scale is applied, all of them must become one, and go to the edit view and press, just select this face selection mode and select this face, press U and then unwrap. I think this did not change anything, so I'm going to press R, Y, and I'm going to press 180 degrees. I think this way is effective. GZ. As you can see, I have some kind of image that's visible uh, outside of my window, right? So if I increase the emission, I have more light that's coming from my uh, from my image. But I'm going to make this image a little bit darker. So in order to do that, go to Add, Search, and then type Hue and Saturation. As you can see, this one is right here, and I'm going to decrease the value to 0.5. So if I decrease the value, as you can see, the image appear to be a little bit darker. So make sure to do that. I think 0.8 is good. I think just right here is let me make this to 5. I think right here is good. So after that, I'm going to press V in order to go to my navigation. I have already showed you how to go to the navigation bar, but as you can see, the the view is a little bit closer. So in order to have a wider angle, go to View, and I'm going to decrease the focal length from 50 to 30. So if I do that, now I can see a more angle in my row. But now you can see right here, right, we have some kind of artifacts right here. We need to solve them. So in order to do that, let's click this irradiance volume, and let's click right here. Let's go to the shaded view, and let's activate the overlays. As you can see, this one is intersecting with the floor. The intersecting with the floor. That's the case. So in order, let's scale as SZ in order to scale it in the Z direction, and I'm going to GZ, move it a little bit apart, so that this points will move a little bit apart from the floor. So I'm going to go to this render properties. I'm going to hit back again, so that we'll solve those problems that we have seen uh, right around here earlier. So make sure this irradiance volume does not intersect with an object. Whenever they intersect with an object in your scene, uh, whenever they intersect with a mesh, they are going to create an artifact. Sometimes they may not, but sometimes they may. So make sure that you have solved that problem, so that you won't have an artifact in your scene. So if I do that, as you can see, if I just moved the irradiance volume a little bit upward, and as you can see, we have now solved our artifact problem in our scene. So this is a very major way that you can solve artifact problems in your scene. Just make sure that this irradiance volumes, in order to better see the irradiance volumes, go to this render properties in the indirect lighting tab. Just activate this one. As you can see, these are the irradiance volumes in your scene. So make sure this one, as I have said earlier, does not intersect with an object as much as possible. Sometimes they may intersect and they may not cause any problem. They may work correctly, but in this case, we just run into some problems. So as I've showed you, as I just tweaked a little bit so that we have solved those problems. So now if I activate this overlays, as you can see, we have now this really good looking scene happening in our viewport. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to give this in wall frames a little bit of image. As you can see, they appear to be a little bit blank. So click this right here, go to material properties. So you can see two materials right here. The first one is that controls the frame. If I deactivate this overlays, we have a black frame around this image, this white plane, and we have this white which controls the image. So we need to place an image right here. So in order to do that, click right here, and then I'm going to find this code one. You can find this file in the description that you have downloaded, and I'm going to drag this one and I'm going to drop it right here. I'm going to connect the color to the color. So when I do that, you can see now I have the image placed right here. But as you can see, this one is a little bit smaller, right? We need to make it larger. So in order to do that, activate this overlays. I'm going to go to edit view by pressing tab, and I'm going to select these two faces by pressing shift, and I'm going to press U and then unwrap. So whenever I do that, now I have the proper unwrapped face of this plane. And I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to place a separation right here. Go to this shader editor types, and I'm going to change to UV editor. So this is my UV, and I'm going to select everything. And if I rotate it, as you can see, the image in our frame that's displayed will also change. And I'm going to press 90. Now we have this one right here, and I'm going to, if I decrease the scale by pressing S, the image will become bigger. And if I move it a little bit downward, as you can see, the image will move whenever I move this one. So this is one way to manipulate the image that's visible in your scene. So just let us make it right around here. Just place it wherever you feel comfortable. So this one is very good. Activate this overlays. Press tab in your keyboard in order to get out the edit mode, or you can use this one, edit mode, and then object mode. I'm going to press Ctrl S. So now we have our frame right here. So by this process, you can place the image that I have placed in the description all over right here. So as you can see, I've finished placing the image, but I think I don't like this one. So I'm going to press SY. I'm going to scale it in the Y direction. GY, a little bit bigger, I think, and I'm going to press Alt. I'm going to press Shift T in order to duplicate it and press Y, so that it will snap in the Y direction. I think this one is good, and I'm going to select both of them by holding Shift, and I'm going to press GY. Make sure that you press everything. GY. I think I have a duplicated object, so I'm going to delete this one. I think let me just move them right here. So as you can see, the image is a little bit distorted. So in order to fix that, again go to edit view by pressing tab, and then press U and then unwrap. But this also did not fix our problem. So before that, what we're going to do is go to the item, and I'm going to press Ctrl A and then scale. Make sure that you're out in the object mode. So when you do that, the scale is applied. And if I go to the edit mode again by pressing tab, and if I press U and then unwrap, now as you can see, the unwrapped image is correct. As you can see, it's the length in the width is proportional to this one. So I'm going to select everything right here, and I'm going to move this one right around here. I think let me make it in the middle. Right, I think right here is good. Since this one is properly UV unwrapped, I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to press Shift D and then Y. I'm going to duplicate it right here, and I'm going to change the image of this one. Let me activate this overlays. So I'm just going to select one of the images. I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to drag it right here, and I'm going to replace this one with this one, and I'm going to delete this one. So if I do that, But when I do that, as you can see, both of them are changed. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Let me just replace this one again. So whenever you are going to change the material that you have duplicated, make sure that just select this material and select the material that you want to change the texture and click this one, this add new material. What this will do is going to make this duplicated material another, it's going to give it another name. As you can see, the name of this material is changed to Amorphite 001. So if I change this one, only this one will change, this one won't be affected. So I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to drag the one that I want to place. You can just also use any image that I have placed. So as you can see, I think this one looks more better than the previous one, right? So I'm going to press Ctrl S. So now we have finished lighting our scene and placing image. So as you can see, it's looking really good. It's looking really good. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to place a camera in our scene, and we're going to animate it so that we'll have a cinematic animation of our interior scene. So I think it's looking good, right? I think everything is looking good. I'm just going to stay right here, go to the solid view and go to activate the show overlays and hide the top view. Go to the top view right here and shift right click right here, since I want to add the camera right around here, and I'm going to go to add and then camera. Now you can see our camera is right here, and I'm going to press GZ to move our camera right here, and I'm going to press RZ, and I'm going to press 90 in my keyboard, and I'm going to press RY so that I will rotate it in the Y direction and press 90. As you can see, my camera is right here, and I'm going to press S in order to scale it. Scaling the camera won't have any change, just let me match it so that it will look proportional to my scene. Just scale it right here and place it right here. So in order to go to the camera view, go to view, camera, and then active camera. So when you do that, you are now in the camera view. But as you can see, outside the camera view is also visible. So in order to deactivate that, the camera is already selected, but if it's not selected, make sure that the camera is selected and go to right here in the viewport display and increase the paper puzzle to 1. So when you do that, we can only see what the camera window sees. So next, go to view, navigation, and then walk navigation. I've showed you earlier how to set the shortcut for this one. I'm going to press S to move backward. If I move backward, it's going to go to outside of the room. The reason behind that is the focal length of the camera is very big. So in order to see a wider angle, I'm going to change this one to, let's make it 30 millimeters. Let me make it 25 millimeters so that I can have a better view of my room. So now, as you can see, our camera is seeing this one. So if I go to the render view right here and deactivate the show overlays, as you can see, we have this really good looking bedroom scene, night bedroom scene. So after that, what we're going to do is go to the solid view, go to the top view right here, activate this show overlays, and we are going to animate our camera. But before that, let me drag right here and just change this editor types to 3D viewport. Then go to view, camera, and the active camera, or you can use numpad 0 in your keyboard. Numpad 0, if you press numpad 0, it's going to automatically take you to the camera view. So I'm going to change this one. I'm going to, in order to slide this one, press the middle mouse and then just drag it. And if I go to the render view and deactivate this overlays, now I can see, if I move my camera right here, I can see the movement of my camera. So I just made this in order to see what any change that I've made to my camera. And I'm going to right click right here and I'm going to press join erase, and when I do that, you can see an arrow appearing right here. I'm going to just move it to the left so that it will join right here, and I'm going to change this editor types to timeline since we're going to animate our camera. So just let me move this one a little bit right here, and I'm going to rotate it right here and just move it right here. Just make sure that you place a really good angle for your. So I think the location of this camera is good right for right now, right? And I'm going to go to the item. If this bar is not opening, press N in your keyboard. It will automatically slide it out. Just N is the shortcut for this one. In the item, in the location, right click and then insert keyframes in, and also in the rotation, right click and then press insert keyframes. What this will do is it's going to insert a keyframe in your timeline, and go to the last frame, which is 250, right? 253 here, in order to simply go to the end frame. Or you can use this one. If you click this one, it's going to take you to the end frame automatically. In this one, to the first, just go right here, and then I'm going to press GY. I'm going to move it right around here. I'm going to press R. Now I'm going to press G, Z, so that I will move it in the Z direction, just a little bit upward. I'm going to press V. I think this one, just adjust it where you want it to be. I think this one is right good. So I'm going to press again, right click, insert keyframe, and right click, insert keyframes. So if I hit play, as you can see, now our camera is animating, as you can see. So by this method, you can create any kind of camera movement that you want. It's all your choice. I'm just showing you how you can do it. So as you can see, when it starts, it's a little bit slower, and it will get faster when it's in the middle, and then at last, just it's going to get slower. So for this thing, I need the movement of the camera to be constant in all scenes. So in order to do that, press A in order to select everything inside this the keyframes. Press T. Then as you can see, this is the interpolation. So if I make it linear, it's going to make it constant throughout the timeline. If I make it Bezier, I think the default is Bezier, I don't know, but I'm not sure. But as you can see, if you can see the curves is not straight. You can see it's a little bit flat in the beginning and in the top. As you can see, others. What this is going to get slower in the beginning in the, that's what it's showing. But in the linear mode, as you can see, it's straightforward, it's linear. So the speed of the camera is constant throughout the animation. So I'm going to make it linear. Now I'm going to press this one in order to snap it to the first frame, or I can use shift left arrow or shift right arrow in order to snap it to the first or the last frame. So if I hit press, it's going to animate the camera with a constant speed from the first to the last. So make sure to keep this in mind. So go to this output properties right here. So let us change the resolution of the Y. Just let me make it 1500, so that we'll have a better view of our row. And then let me change the frame rate to 25, so that we'll have 10 frames. Since the frame is 250 by 25 is 10 seconds. So for the output, just click this folder icon right here and choose the place that you want the render to be output or rendered. In the file format, change this one to FFmpeg video, since we want a video, and click this one and press this H264 in MP4. When you do that, in the encoding part, this will automatically be set up for you. As you can see, the file is MP4, and then the output quality, most of the time medium quality will give you a good result, but in my case I'm going to just make it high quality. I don't need anything above that. I think in the output renders, this one is enough. So next, what we're going to do is just hit render and render animation. So this will just render your animation in no time, since we're using EEVEE, which is a real-time render engine. It's not going to take much time to render. So guys, this is all for the tutorial that I have for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that I can keep making videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching, guys.